Yo, welcome into the So Rare in the States basketball show. That's right. I said that right. I didn't almost stumble over my words. This isn't an MLS show. This is an NBA show because So Rare NBA is back for season 3. And guess what? We have cash prizes in season. We're getting essence. We're going to be cracking some essence with the boys over on the NBA side. And there's so much more, so much to get excited about. Man, I needed to bring on Alex, who the podium is loading. He's been working hard on the soccer side, but guess what? We're going to spend all our money on NBA instead. And Thomas, the least reliable NBA expert, to here to bring you all the cold hard facts. There's a lot of new things coming to So Rare. I needed the experts here. We need to talk about it. The cards come out tomorrow, October 15th, which is actually my birthday. Yeah, dude, new NBA
Whoa.
cards. So guess what?
Happy
For my
birthday. Do the
birthday,
balloons. Oh, that was
yeah,
kind of cool
I'm
balloons
gonna
for
I'm
the
gonna
birthday.
spend all my money on NBA cards, and we're gonna see what we're gonna get into. Are we gonna go in season? Are we gonna stick with classic? We're gonna figure it all out. Jay Blaze, let's go. The Cam Thomas fan club himself in here. Let's go, Sherry. We'll catch up tomorrow. It's okay. I can't wait for you to listen and have fun with the rest of us. Yes, we all have high hopes for the NBA season. Clamp is not ready for MLB to be over, but looking forward to NBA. Shout out to him on Sober FP. I was looking at their baseball show earlier. I didn't know what the heck was going on, but it was good content over there with Bob. And haha, Mike Baston, what do you mean you're at the wrong stream? You're staying here. I see you over in the team hold streets. You like basketball. You're going to be here with us. But boys, we are here. So we're NBA. Alex, how are you feeling about this NBA season? No? No? Oh, is he gone? Oh,
Yep.
well,
Well,
anyway.
yeah, no, I'm here. Sorry. I
Ah,
did. Can you hear me? Oh,
yes.
you can hear me? Okay, cool. Well, I'm obviously a big basketball fan. I watched too much NBA last year, too much NBA the year before that. This year, I'm more heavily going to college basketball. I'm working in college basketball, so I just been around it more and so stuff like that. So I'll probably be tuned into a lot of college basketball more than I am in NBA this year. But me and my friend, we're both super into the analytical side of basketball and sort of scouting. We made like our top 25s for the college basketball today. But yeah, I'm excited because first of all, my team Celtics, we won last year and we're very heavily favored again this year, um, and so that makes me happy. Second of all, there's a lot of guys who I think are going to be. I think the top 10 is going to change a lot this year. We have a lot of guys who are getting older. I think we're going to see some guys bump in there again. I don't know if I've said this on the show, but I've said it to a lot of my friends. I think Wemby will be a guaranteed top 3 player in the league by the end of this year. I think people will finally see that, and you can see it already in preseason with Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He has a guy who can actually give him good passes, and so that's going to be very interesting to watch to see how far they go with that team. And then there's a bunch of trades that happen, and like DeMar DeRozan got traded, and I forgot about it until like a week ago when I saw him in preseason going
Hey,
15,
the
15
beam.
points from 6 for 6. Um, so yeah, I'm just excited to see how it pans out because it sucks to think about it, but it's probably going to end up being the Celtics win again, even as a fan of that. But like, I want to see the process of getting there. I want to see who does well. I want to see teams make long playoff runs that don't usually make that. And most of all, I got to get back into the sober aspect of it. And so I do have a watch list that we'll go over later because I was a big contender player last year. Um, I loved finding those cheap guys in scouting. That was my favorite part. And so I made a little watch list of guys I think will be good. If you guys are playing on a budget for NBA this year or want to get
Good
into
luck.
NBA and you need somewhere to enter, this is one of the easier spots to win rewards. I won a lot last year not knowing much about Sorare NBA and how the aspect of playing it. But just based on my basketball knowledge alone, I was able to win some rewards.
There you go. Thomas, what about you? Did you play Sower NBA before this? Did you how are you going into this new era of basketball?
New era, yeah. I have to make an admission that I completely checked out of Sorare NBA last year. I think I felt
Most of us did.
right, and Sorare kind of did too. That's how I felt personally. It's not a slate against them. It's just that I think after the midseason tournament, it just didn't feel like they were doing much with it that made me want to put more money into it. I think they had the really big spike when they first launched the cards, and then card values dropped drastically. And I mean, similar to, I think a lot of people who bought in early, I felt a little, I wasn't happy with the rate at which that went down, and then the reward that came with it, right? It was just, you'd get cards that would be worth you $2, and then you'd have to find a way to maybe flip them for whenever there's just random spike in the player's utility. So yeah, I wasn't super engaged last season. I still go to Hawks games. I did actually not go to the Spurs game whenever the Spurs played Hawks. I was doing community service because it was on MLK Day, and I forgot about the game. So
Oops.
missed my chance to see Wemby in person for the first time, but I'll definitely not make that same mistake twice. But here I am, and you know what? I'm excited. I think I've had some ideas around how I'd want to play this game, Sorare NBA, and so I did a lot of testing and just working with data. I pulled a bunch of data this offseason just to get an idea of what types of players would I go after, and who am I going to even try? What competitions am I going to even play? What competitions can I even play right now with the current cards that I have? And so I think that's something that has me excited. I looked at the structure of rewards, and that we got a little box cracking, and we're just talking about it before we even started the stream, the daily games. And I hadn't really read anything into that yet. So just y'all telling me a little bit about that already has me excited for that daily engagement, because that's what was missing, was that I would on the Friday, Monday, whenever the locks were for the lineups, I'd go to Sorare Data. I'd say, Sorare Data, please tell me what I should play. And I would play that exactly. I wouldn't do any research whatsoever to even doubt that lineup, because I just didn't care. I didn't feel like the incentive was there for me to put that much time and effort into trying to put together the best lineup versus what's the easiest lineup.
Sorare data make my lineups for me.
Exactly.
Call it a day.
And I still won cards. Like, I would still win limiteds, right? I think only won like three or four decent cards. Never won any of the big guys, right? And I think that's, I think Mike just asked the question, is there any way to win without the top tier guys? And I think it depends on the competition that you're playing. If you're playing champion or whatever the top champion, right? My answer is no. You have to have one of them. That is an absolute guarantee that you have to have one of them. I haven't looked at the lineups that won stuff last year, but just knowing and looking at and remembering how whenever I would check the leaderboards every week and just see who won, it was always one of the top 4, top 5 guys was in one of those lineups for champion.
No, yeah, and that's always the hardest part with champions specifically, that you are at a severe disadvantage without Luka or Jokic, because they're just so solid. It's high floor, higher ceiling, and like yes and no, because you can technically win without them, because just because they have Jokic and Luka doesn't mean that they can build out the rest of their lineup, because of the way Sorare NBA does work with the L10s and like the fluctuations. Like, you can't just shove all the top tier guys, just rack up all the points and then win that way. You still need to have a little bit of skill on the backside. And like, even going off that, you kind of mentioned like the drop off in season 2, and yeah, Mike brought it up too. The realignment of scarcities hurt. If you remember season 1, they like basically upped the scarcities in every level, assuming the NBA was going to get this influx of users, and it didn't. And then they all changed it back. They were like, "Hey, we want smaller scarcity, smaller community," but guess what? With that came less rewards, and it did become harder to win. And like that, it was just like a shock value, right? Like, there was just so much hype in season 1, like everything was great, we were winning stuff like crazy, and season 2 was like, oh, this is really hard. And then, yeah, not only was it hard, but like you said, after the in-season tournament was awesome. And I'm sure we'll get another iteration of that this season, but like just that fall off, that drop off. And then with the sentiment went the card prices, and it was just bad overall. And it does kind of feel like they kind of gave it up. But then seeing what baseball did, because baseball came in hot with all this cash and in season, the football side has now transitioned to like this awesome thing with in-season classic. So the only next card to drop, right, was going to be the NBA side, which is kind of why I got really excited. I was like, hey, you see what the other sports are doing? Now, assuming the NBA is going to do it, and with all the announcements that they've given us, it does seem that they're going that way. So I think the hype is real, right?
Yeah, I think that's what has me excited too, is that this feels like we actually have a first movers advantage again, that a lot of people gave up. Like, they either sold out or just forgot about their cards. and we're taking a risk. Yes, we're saying, hey, Sorare, we are putting our faith in you that you have taken a deep look into this product and really looked at what made your other products successful and what made NBA fall off so hard. And then that what they did to reimagine this game is going to allow people that put the time and effort in to benefit from that. And so I think there is, I mean, my friends that play baseball, all they would talk about is how well they're doing in baseball and how easier to win in baseball in some cases than it is to win in like contender or challenger or whatever in soccer, right? So I think that's what had me excited too. And then I just personally, I'm not a big baseball fan, so I would never just go into that direction. But I do like basketball, right? And so happy to be on board the NBA train again. Hopefully that bodes well for the entire year and going forward.
No, yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, with and you kind of brought it up with the new structure in season. Alex, you're kind of coming in fresh. You dipped in baseball a little bit, so you experienced that. You're way more baseball than we are. You've seen what they've done on the football side, and now in season competitions, and that's baseball. And now the in season competitions are coming to the NBA. So you knowing how everything works, right? And I coming from the inside, coming into basketball, how are you looking at it? And like, what's kind of your strategy? Like, what are you thinking right now between the in classic and the in season?
Honestly, we have to wait till tomorrow for me to figure out that answer because I want to see what the market does. I feel like that's going to be the main thing. If it's going to be as inflated as it was for baseball at the beginning of the year, it's going to make it really hard to have to go into in season because I know that I can probably get a decent amount of rewards during the season from contender, just based on moving things around. I'd have to be really active with that. That's how I had to do last year. I was trading in and out of guys all the time. I think I only have one guy left over from last season. That was Buddy Hield, who I kept, and he actually is one of the best contender plays going into the season because his L10 is like 13, and so I would have to assume I'm going to end up just sticking to classic. But if they're going to hype it up more and limited, it's going to be sort of the thing where you have to wait a little bit. Maybe I'll play in season a few months in because the prices go down. MLS in season prices were insane, if you remember, for anybody that plays football.
Oh yeah.
Wait, give it till June, and then they're all about just like $5-10 more. So it's probably going to end up being that same thing where I wait for in season until later, but grind classic to begin.
Okay, all right. But does this change anything right now? Because Sorare NBA today announced their little double up promotion, which they did on the football side. As the new cards come out, for everyone that you buy on auction or Instabuy, you get a 5% chance at winning a second card or winning Essence. Thomas, how does that make you feel? I didn't degen into Europe, not me, but you guys, I know you guys did. Did that promo do anything for you?
I think I bought one card in that promo for the European cards, and he's Benjamin something from Benfica, who I know he was a big player in South America before he went over to Benfica, and I was like, seems like he has a good trajectory. He's kind of cheap because he's been injured for a while. Like, I'll buy it, play the slots once, and see what happens. But personally, I don't really go for those promotions. I just don't. Yes, roll high, sir. I don't know, it just seems like you're just trying. They're trying to get you to play the odds, right? And there's also going to be a new premium attached on top of the card that you already wanted to get anyway. I mean, it's like what's going on with the goal scorer promotion they're doing right now, where every single one of these players, like Peck, are even higher than they were before, and it's because people are on the auction market, the Instabuy market, are paying a little bit more to get that special premium raffle ticket, whatever the giveaway is. I don't go for that stuff. I try and always stick to whatever my strategy is and not get distracted by that unless I just feel like, this is a good opportunity. Like, there's a couple of players in NBA that I'll be looking at potentially picking up who are rookies. So there's only going to be one chance to get them, and that's in season. So, for example, the Hawks rookie that they've gotten first pick. It's been kind of I don't want to say like insulted, but people aren't hype about him because people are saying
No one can
this is one of
no one
the
can pronounce his name.
yeah, like everyone and this people are saying this is like one of the worst draft classes in ages. Whenever the Hawks got the #1 pick, right? But he's been doing well in preseason, and he's I think has and then the Hawks with DJ Murray gone, I think there's going to be room for him to slot in, right? So I'll probably pick his card up. Will I pick it up during this special? I don't know. I think I typically wait a month nowadays. I'm not about, especially if I don't feel like my strategy is fully baked out yet, or I haven't had enough time to test and see how successful can I be with this, then I'm not going to sit there and put a bunch of money for it again, only to get burned again, right? And that's just me being a little bit more cautious. Like I still have faith in the game, right? But at the same time, too, I know that there's people that are willing to pay a lot more than I'm willing to pay. And so as a result, I'll let them have the first mover advantage there. And I'll just play classic with the classic cards I picked up or I plan to pick up, as well as some of the ones I have already.
Yeah, no, it'll be an interesting dynamic. And I know, Alex, you and me like to watch the market a lot. When they did the promo on the football side, do you like there was a little premium? I know they carried a premium. Did you notice how much the premium was,
Jesus
and how bad
Christ.
was the dump after the promo was over? 'Cause that's what I'm
The
really worried. Like, should we wait for the dump?
the premium was like genuinely insane. I remember like if the guy was a starter, he was like $6, no matter the team. People just wanted to get in on guys to get this promo. I only bought one card during that, and it was a guy for a Sevilla stack, and he had moved already. And so I barely had to pay above floor for him. But I'm pretty sure that it may have been like more. It might have been more than double. It was a lot for some cards.
I would say it was definitely more than double for most
Yeah.
cards if you consider how far they fell. Like if you think about a card nowadays that's going for $1, you'd see them going for $5.
Exactly, but then it was more like if you looked at it like high end guys, it wasn't more than double. It was a lot. So
right, I think the high end guys you'd see like a 40-50% at the top, right?
Yeah.
In some cases, if it had some sort of like number, like they didn't do the 1 in 1,000s, but like Jersey Man or something like that.
Yeah. It was significantly more though. I remember. I think one of the cards that I was looking at was Malik Tillman. I think his cards were going for over $100 new season. Now I think they're $50. Like they're $5 above floor.
That's PSV, boy. If you're not familiar with football, that's the team.
But that's the thing. Everyone wanted to win any other PSV card. So like the payout was such a high deal where it's like you could get Pascagli, right? Like it was such. There, I see why people went in, right? And it's where whenever you think about teams like the Nuggets, like the Mavs,
Celtics,
Spurs, people are going to be paying more for those cards in particular because everyone wants to be the lucky one that gets the Wemby or Tatum or whoever, right? And so there's going to be other teams that are going to be less popular than these primary teams, and I'd liken them to the premium people are paying on the big stacks, especially in like Challenger.
Yeah. Just to kind of clarify for those that don't know, so with that 5% chance to win the free card, right? There's the chance that you get another card from the same team of like the same tier. So if you're going for Tatum, most likely you're going to get a Jaylen Brown, and like vice versa. If you go for Luka, then you're probably going to get a Kyrie. So it's like stuff like that. And if not from the same team, then it's someone else, but it's going to be in the same tier. So if you go for a tier 1, you're getting a tier 1, stuff like that. So yeah, no, you're right. Definitely going after the Denver Celtics. Yeah, even Spurs. Maybe you get that Wemby. Is definitely something to think of.
Here, do you want to, before we transition, do you want to see just a graph real quick to show you what this could possibly look like?
Yeah.
So this is from football. This is from this year. You want to guess who this is? So you can see that before the new season cards, around $6. New seasons come out, we're looking $15, $20, $30. It's PSV. It's a guy who does not start. It's Ricardo Pepi.
As I say, is it Pepe? Yeah.
It's Pepi.
You didn't let me guess. I was actually going to say Pepe.
Oh, but
Scroll
yeah,
up a little bit.
it's Pepi. He was going for $17.
Yeah.
So that's almost triple what he was going for.
Yeah.
$6 card going for $17. He still hasn't started. Like, he still doesn't start games.
I
And he
didn't realize.
before.
I didn't realize they were doing it, and this just tells you like how little I read into this special. Is that I didn't even realize they were doing it based on tier. I just assumed they were doing it on team again.
Yeah.
And
Or another Tatum.
yeah, and so I mean, still it's the same deal, right? Like, it's just going to make the best players even more expensive.
You get a Luka, you could get a Jokic. Like, come on, like that's
worth the
gamble.
That's it's a 5% gamble, right? But then it's not like you can do this 20 times to guarantee yourself. I mean, you could, right? Like, if you're YNWA, but like most people aren't. And at the same time, too, I would prefer not to spend on Jokic because I'd rather buy his classic card to use as my one classic card and in season.
Yep. MVPs are too cheap right now. Classic MVPs are too cheap right now. People are going to realize that soon. Because, in the in-season, and it's actually, so the in-season, you do get to use one classic card in that, which why would you not use the MVP or the good players that you already have? Because in-season, good players, just that smaller player pool of, like, users, it's easier to win. So you're paying a premium to kind of get that first mover advantage, like you've been saying. So I don't think they're doing special editions. I think they are doing the active backgrounds, but they're not releasing them the way they did in football. If you guys haven't seen, these are the new card designs. But they've been doing like special editions with like Christmas time and the playoffs. Maybe they'll do in-season tournament. I assume they'll do animated. I kind of just went through the blog and it didn't really seem like they said anything about the animated cards, but I assume they will come with the special editions that they do this year. Is it 2 classics for limited? I think it's just 1. I had it here somewhere. Oh, got it right here. So you only get 1. So rare and limited, you get 1 classic card, and then super rare and unique, you can use 2 classic cards. So going forward, there's going to be. I've been on the boat that there should be 3 it should be 3 in season and 2 classic, but hey, what do I know? I'm not the smart one making all the big bucks. Before we kind of move on, you mentioned that you wanted to buy rookies, talking about like buying in season early or not. Let's get a little controversial here. Where are you, Thomas? I'm going to take this to you first. Where are you on the rookies coming in for the new season being on an L0 to start game week 1? Should that be allowed? Is it unfair?
I could care less. It's 1 week.
Okay.
It's 1 game week. Like it's okay. Like, you pay, that means they go for even more, right? So then are you going to be able to make back the amount of money that you win in this? That is
1 game week.
That is greater than the premium you're paying on the L0 rookie. I could care less. I think, like, and this is the thing, right? Like, I'm playing classic for the start of the season, so yeah, it doesn't really impact me that much. If you're playing in season, I imagine you have a different opinion, unless you just know you're going to do that. But I don't even think for the last 2 years in a row, they haven't changed that. It's always been
last year they did with Wemby.
Oh, they did?
So they held them out for the first like week or two. I don't think they auctioned until the first game week was locked. But again, so rare. They're trying to pump out these cards. They're trying to make money.
Right, but like
this doesn't make sense for them.
This is a moment where they can make more than what they would have made. More than what they would have made if they had done it a week later, right? And so if I buy a rookie, and this rookie on average is, let's say, $20 on the in-season market, and I pay $50 on the in-season market, in that 1 game week where he is 0, will I be able to make my $30? I don't know.
It
That's-
depends on the rest of your
I don't know.
lineup.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question, right? I think that's what you have to consider. And I think I saw like one tweet about it, and then I just looked at it and I went, I really don't care.
This is an argument every year, though. Like, this isn't a new argument. This has been all 3 seasons that this happens. Alex, do you have an opinion on it at all?
Like you said, it's going to suck to play against him in season for rookies that are going to have L0s, but you're just going to know the fact that the people you're going against are probably paying money that they're not going to get back to have that advantage for
Jokes on them.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. If you want to pay that, I understand paying the extra for one-ofs, but realistically, if you're going to get a rookie, I would wait till the second game. I'd wait till auctions in the second game. Because there's no point to pay a premium unless you really want them for a collection.
And I am highly considering going in season. So this is something that I've been thinking about. And I'm in the same boat as you guys. Like, I don't really think it matters that much. I don't know why it's such a topic of conversation every year. Yo, what's up, Miguel? It is Sorare NBA time. Welcome in. But yes, I'm with Mike Basson. Is like this is my argument for it, is how many rookies are going to get substantial minutes in game week 1. Look, this is the 3rd season of Sorare NBA. Whether or not I was like super in or making content or not, I was still pretty invested. Basically, in order to be in for a somewhat decent reward, you got to be hitting like 250 plus. That means on average, you got to be hitting at least 50 points per player in your lineup. How many of those rookies on a 0 are going to bang out their first game ever, just thrown into an NBA roster? If they are playing significant minutes, they're probably on a really bad team that needs to play them on game week 1. So it's one of those things where, like, I get it. Like, on a fundamental basis, yes, obviously it is unfair and they should do something. What that one something is, I don't know. Hold them. Doesn't make sense on the business, blah, 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 whatever. But the idea that one of these rookies is going to score you enough to really make a difference on the leaderboard is so unlikely for all the effort and time that we're putting into this conversation. And that's the way I feel about it.
And remind me, having been someone that casually checked out last season with champion, there's still a cap, right? But you have an MVP, but then it's just
so
like
it's
MVP
plus
if they're
120.
building a super team that has the ability to hit the cap with a 0 in it because of a rookie, like, they've already dumped a bunch of money in there. I'm not too worried about it. For like, have your 1 game week, and I'm not going to be there anyway. Like, I'm trying to even find a player. Would it be like a Banchero? He was a rookie the first year, right?
Yeah. Banchero was, and I don't even remember what he scored that first year. But yeah, Banchero. I mean, Wemby last year, but they held it. And like, I don't necessarily think that holding them for a game week is necessarily the right answer either, because that kind of sucks for everybody.
No, and I think
if you want your Atlanta rookie and you want to play him game week 1, like you can.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity for Sorare once again, right? Like, thinking in a business mindset, that is extra cash in your pocket that people are willing to pay for the ability to have their lineup be a little more nice. But it doesn't guarantee them any. They could build a terrible team around it, right? So
yeah. And trust me, and the only reason why I'm so on this level is that I've tried. So season 1, I forget his name, but there was a player with a -3 L10. And yes, in Sorare, it did technically give you 3 extra points in the cap. And I tried, bro. I tried my hardest to make it work for like weeks. I threw away lineups just trying to make this work. And I think I maybe won a tier 5 like once.
Didn't he play for the Jazz or something like that?
No, he played for the Brooklyn.
Or the Heat.
Yeah, there it is. No Jay Williams in here. Alondis
Williams.
He was literally on a -3 the entire season. And I tried. I tried to fit him in. I eventually sold him for a profit in some like big game week or something. I guess he was like slated to play or whatever and didn't score well. I sold him. But
he's still basically a 0. He is a 0 still.
Well, I think Sorare changed the rule where they don't get negative points anymore. I don't remember, but
he wouldn't be a negative point anymore based on what I see.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But yeah, for a while though, we had that -3. He probably got dropped into G League. Yeah, I think he was like a 2-way player, just like came in, did absolutely nothing, did negative. And
let's talk about rookies real quick.
I was going to say something about rookies too. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, here's my question for y'all. How much do you think Bronny goes for?
Genuinely, I had that pulled up on my phone. I was about to ask the same thing. I was going to say, which players do you think Bronny goes is more expensive than?
Oh,
I think he'll be the fourth most expensive rookie. I think Richard, Sar, and Dillingham will probably go
I
for
think
more.
the second most expensive rookie.
Okay, but when the Bronny and LeBron 1-of-1 dual auto,
The high school one.
yeah, the high
Just
school.
wait until they do like the Father's Day special.
That's still.
You
I
need a
think they're
father
gonna.
son duo in the league to play the match.
It's like they have to be a dad. If their son plays, you get extra bonus.
Yeah, he's gonna go for way too much. I can already say. I can already tell you. He's gonna play maybe 10 games this year.
Yeah, I saw him in the summer tournament, and I was not impressed.
Didn't he score like one bucket the entire thing or whatever?
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's leagues better than I could ever dream to be, but if I had a dad that played a sport and was one of the greatest players in the world, I could see why he got it.
And like, if you want, I don't know if you guys have you guys watched him in preseason?
That was the only preseason game I watched, to be honest. Or like that for the Lakers.
I watched him in preseason. He's been atrocious on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Defensive, he's been fine. He's a good defensive player. He made that coming out of college. Sorare is basically an offense. There's no point to have a guy in Sorare if they're not going to be super good on offense. So like, Bronny's not going to score anything when he plays, if he plays. So
I don't know, man. Those 3 points for steals and blocks, they'd be adding up.
Yeah.
Wemby's a fantasy darley for 6 blocks a game, dude.
Yeah, but that's Wemby. We're talking about Bronny James.
I don't know, man. It's in his blood, I guess.
He'll get
something.
maybe 2 stocks a game. Maybe. Wemby's going to be the first ever person to average 3 blocks a game. That's my prediction.
Sorry, you know YNWA is getting the unique. You know he's getting that Bronny.
There's no point. He's going to play him, Wemby, and LeBron in the same lineup and post it.
Yeah, but do you guys have anything else on in-season classic competitions? I guess you guys are classic boys for the time being, and I'm going to be the only lonely D-gen in season.
Well, let me ask you this: what in-season competition are you prioritizing or planning to play?
So let me tell you, and I don't remember if I got this pulled up or not. They released the prize pools for the
This is exactly
for the Sorare NBA, right? Yeah, and I was looking earlier, and I got to tell you, I thought I was reading this wrong. Okay, you're telling me that in-season contender limited and underdog, they're only paying out 3 places, and the rest of it is boxes?
Yeah,
is it?
That's why I said unless I can build a super team in season, which means I have to pay a little bit more money. I don't feel the need to, at the very beginning of this season, play in season contender or underdog. Like, I'd rather just put together teams in the classic competitions that get boxes. I think the box quality is lower or something like that. I don't know if you scroll down to go to the classic pools just to compare, but like, let's see here. Okay, so like, yeah, so the best box you can get for contenders 2-star limited. What are even the odds on that? Let's look.
Yeah, if you want to pull that out too, but like my biggest thing, and like, don't get me wrong, the champion seems fine. If you want to play champion, like that prize pool up to $725, I mean, you get $5 if you place between 200 and 725. Like, that's not bad. Yeah. All right, that's a start, and you get a box and like 5-star boxes. So if you win cash, you get a 5-star box too. That's incredible. But my biggest thing was the whole issue last year, and the biggest uproar was that it was hard to win rewards, and it felt like it was impossible to win anything. And yes, and we'll talk about boxes and how epic Essence is on the football side. We literally all get together and rip Essence together on Tuesdays, ripping Essence with the boys and or girls. And like, dude, it's fun. Like, boxes and Essence are fun. But the whole like uproar last year was that it was hard to win, and there weren't a lot. And then they went 3 places in contender, win cash for in season.
And like, let's also consider that. Yes, that is the range is what you said, 700 or 260 220 to whatever. You can enter 3 teams, right? So let's just potentially, on average, double the number of players in this tournament on a weekly basis or a twice a week basis.
Right.
So yes, 200 doesn't seem like as hard of a result, but that 200 last year is different than 200 this year, right? And so that's the other thing I say, like you have to have one of the big players, because there's going to be somebody that has Jokic, Wembley, Luka, and potentially 3 different lineups with a decent cast around them, and one of those 3 are always going to hit. Or Tatum, like one of those 4 are always going to hit, right? And then they just got to figure out which one they want to play out of the group. So that's why I don't feel like I need to hop in immediately. I think I'm just gonna like test out strategy in the classic arena first, and then when I feel like I've figured it out, I'll be into the season, and then I'll just be SOL. But yeah, no, but joking aside, like I'll definitely, I think by December is sort of my timeline of when I want to have at least 1 to 2 in season teams running that I feel are competitive.
Yeah, that's all right.
Because like if you're able to win, let's say $5 on average twice a week, like it's $10 a week. And then classic, I mean, up that and rare, it's not bad.
No, I mean rare champion up to paying up to 150 and $15 for the last 100 places that are paying cash. So that's not terrible either.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Looking at these prize pools, Alex, did that change your mind at all about in season? You jumping right in?
That's insane. I did not know that was what it was, and there is 0.00% chance I go to in season immediately now. Do they have the classic season tier rewards yet? Do we know that?
What do you mean?
Like for classic.
Oh, I don't think they released the tiers yet of the players.
No. The tier list, no.
Do they have like the breakdown of for placements?
Not that I'm
aware of. The classic placements, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for the play. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's up the champion. So 375 places in champion get paid out. Tier 4, and then I mean there's 35 stars given out, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
What about for contender?
And then contender, yeah, they're paying at 370. So classic doesn't seem too bad, to be honest.
Yeah, like classic just seems
gonna be like last year.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for y'all, being MLB players. Did they change the rewards pools at all?
I wouldn't know because I barely won anything. I can say this: I only won 1 reward.
You didn't just look and be like, "Whoa, this is what I could have."
No, because it was more of, let's look at the tier 5s whenever I finally won.
Yeah. Okay, Miguel says
no. It was really hard to win rewards this year. Luckily, a lot of my he would know better than I would, but I will say a lot of the guys that I bought at the beginning of the year were also sort of scouting with Chris after some shows, and a lot of them have like doubled in price. So if I wanted to sell out, I would make profit.
And it's still winning if you profit.
But yeah. The MLB was weird this season. It was just cool. It was a fun ride. I think maybe next season I'll just go limited. I went rare trying to bite off one I can chew, realizing that I probably just need like smasher limiteds, which is
maybe
what you need for everyone now.
Yeah, maybe Sir is waiting to see how well they do in the initial sales of cards this year, and this is just complete like me being glass half full. But if they do see they have a really great churn of cards, then hopefully they add contender cash rewards. But like right now, you have to imagine that this deal is bleeding for Sorare in terms of how much of a profit. Like I said, I'm hypothesizing here, but just looking at the state of the game last season, the amount of investment they put into it as a company, the latter half, I think they definitely must have not been very happy with internally how they were performing, because I want to say they came out, and that's when like the article came that some of the staff was moving over to Paris to get everyone in the same place in terms of how they want to have the game play out. So I think just business strategy, they said, hey, we don't like how we're not in one place able to get the games together the way we want them to be. So please come over here so that we can be on the same page across all of our products, because it was very obvious that NBA is their weakest product in terms of the three sports.
Yeah, no, and I think they addressed it too, where it was like they try to like expand, obviously, in the big boom and like everything was going on, and it was just like the Wild West out there, and like they did what they could, and then they were like, hey, let's bring everything home under one roof, and then build everything's like streamlined, right? Like you go to now NBA, you go to MLB, Sorare, like they all or football, they all technically kind of work together and mesh together, where like there's like some like coherence and everything with all the games, and yeah, I mean it's all for the better. Jay Blaze does bring it up that they could change the reward pools after a few weeks. Like, look, they're not keen to, they don't really like to, but I forget if it was Damien on the Sorare data show or John when he was talking with on Sorare FP that like they were trying out this like top heavy like prize pool. And I know the Sorare data people have been like anti top heavy prize pools from the beginning. I don't really have an opinion. I don't know any better. I'm just here to have fun. But it does seem like they're going to test it out. And if it doesn't work, like I'm saying, the uproar last year was that it was hard to win. And this seems pretty hard to win.
And they've tweaked prize pools in other sports. Like I've been tracking the prize pools for in-season rare across contender and challenger. And they've changed those prize pools. Like they initially had like a $70 UN no box. And then they changed it to more boxes and then like a couple different thresholds. So I think they definitely... Is there like a bot in our chat or something?
Dude, Nick doesn't know that I don't know how to read. I don't know what the game is here, man.
It's probably a bot. So
clearly you're new here.
I think this is going to be hopefully a case where they review what they see in terms of sales, in terms of the prize pools, engagement they get in contender. Because I think if they see they're not getting the amount of engagement in contender they want. But at the same time, too, do we even know what the prize pools for the daily game is? Because maybe that's part of the reason why. And so that's the other question mark that I have when we talk about in season and what that looks like. I assume daily games are not an in season specific, or maybe they are. And then at that point, like if you want to play the game every day, you have to have it in season. I would hope they wouldn't do that. That would just be like another middle finger to us original buyers of NBA cards, but there's just a lot of question marks up in the air that aren't going to be answered until I think we have a week or two of playing the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, in season, like typically in season, like the player pool is really small. Obviously, like you guys are already saying, like, hey, I'm gonna wait it out. So hey, maybe people don't really like this change. Maybe they flood Classic and they're like, boo, in season, and then Classic goes up, or then they're like, hell yeah, let's win cash, because they've all been begging for cash since day one.
Yeah,
and like they've been begging for cash since day one. So like it is what it is. You better like it. They do have the rewards for the daily hoops though. So it's only boxes. So you're only gonna be winning essence, it looks like.
Well, you get credits, right?
I think so, yes.
I think there are credits strewn about those box tiers.
In one of these blogs, because there's like 100 of them.
That's the thing. Like, it's like I have to sift through 80 different blogs, like put it on the FAQ.
we're gonna go through this together. I had it pulled up somewhere. I don't know where it went. Where are the box odds?
So I see the box. Oh, here we go. Okay.
So for the rare 1 star, essence. the lowest essence, you get 30% for a market credit, which ain't bad. $5 for market credits. NBA, the L10s, you gotta in and out of cards.
Why not just spend a couple weeks farming those credits, and then it's just Sorare's money that you're spending.
Oh, there you go. So you're saying grind boxes, grind daily game and classic, get those market credits before October 31st, buy a Luka, get a free Jokic.
Boom.
Yeah,
that's it. I just solved Sorare. Show's over, baby.
Except market credits can only count to like 50% of the player price, and so if they're still inflated, you're still probably overpaying. But it's whatever, right? Like, actually, no, you probably would be overpaying 50%. I would say like Luka's probably someone that's not going to go down more than 50%. So come in solid.
Hey, we'll see. Maybe NBA will turn me around on market credits because up until this moment, I've kind of hated market credits. I haven't been
I
a
like
credit
market
fan.
credits. I like market credits. I'm pro market credits. Although I can't use the ones that I have right now for football because they haven't put the players I want. They haven't put like any Eredivisie players that haven't are part of this goal scoring special up recently. And so I think it's complete sidetrack. I think tomorrow we'll see those players maybe pop up again. But here's my other question, and I haven't seen this. Maybe you've, like I said, you've read a lot more than I have, clearly
Today.
But Essence is unique to the sport. No,
What?
like one Essence I win in NBA is only for NBA, correct?
Yes.
One market credit I win for NBA is only unique to NBA, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the only thing I didn't know. Because otherwise, like it would have been actually kind of cool, to be honest with you.
What, to have all the essence count for everything?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Why not use it to get a way to get people into other sports on the platform?
What if they kept it separate, but you can win like small amounts of essence for like no, because if you're playing football, you want to win football. Like if you don't care, you don't care.
General essence, right? And so then like to me, it doesn't seem like it's something they couldn't do. Maybe they don't want people getting too confused or anything like that. But like I say, like if you are trying to get people to try out other sports, then why not allow Essence to be multi-athletic? I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm about to sleep on that one. Alex, do you have thoughts on that?
I think that would be cool. Again, I think the main thing there would be like,
is it, though.
I think it would be cool in the aspect that it would get people to play other sports.
Yeah,
but I don't think that would work.
You have to make the UI very obvious. Like if you're on the NBA page, you can only craft NBA players. If you're on the football page, you only craft football players.
Imagine you craft both.
Listen, when they give me essence for league specifics or specific competitions, then we'll talk. But until then, it's going to be a long time. Yes, I need MLS. MLS only, baby. That's all I need. That's all I want. Listen, we've been talking about it forever. They should do a multi-sport competition. All right. Every sport has common cards. And if you use a limited card from that sport, you get a bonus. So if you have NBA cards and MLB cards and soccer cards, then hey, you're sitting pretty. If not, you got all these commons.
How many cards would be in the lineup for the multi-sport?
30.
Oh, probably 7.
7. So
yeah, do the MLB route.
So we would basically we'd go against Wemby, Luka, Jokic,
Shohei,
Aaron Judge, Shohei, Boscagli, and Veerman.
I don't think I don't know if I would like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it'd be like all the ghost of every player that I hate to see in the top every week haunting me.
Exactly. That'd be sad sight.
All right, we'll keep brainstorming that one. We'll get to it. Miguel brings up a good one. Have they said the breakdown on how much essence is for each tier role? So they did, and I found out today, and I was actually surprised. So they changed it. They did change it from the football side. The first rip is now 50 essence. Gone are the days of the 20 essence rips. Same 5 milestones. 500 seems to be the cap. But they did.
But you have to do that though, because there's just much fewer players.
Yeah. What's like the way for all those people that are coming over football, like playing NBA is like basically playing the Prem only. It's a top tier league. There's only one league, so it's a small pool of players, and it's very, very top heavy in the player pool. But the L10s kind of fix that a little bit. Should be a good time. So yeah, they did have the breakdown. And let's see the percentages too. So yeah, that milestone 5 is the same way, 50% between a tier 1 and a star. These are basically the same from football, aren't they?
Very similar. Obviously, no T5, but
close.
Yeah, no T5.
I don't remember them exactly.
Yeah, it's about like 0.5%
about the same.
star or so.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit more expensive, but again, the player pool is smaller, the reward pool is smaller. It's gonna be a little weird, but I'm excited for it. I mean, we're kind of on the essence talk now for those that are from NBA first time. Dude, these reward boxes, it doesn't seem like much. I know you're not winning a card. Well, guess what? You weren't winning a card last year anyway, okay?
Right.
So now you're winning boxes, okay? This is straight. I don't know. I don't play 2K, but I'm sure they have packs and FIFA have packs, and you're getting it. You get the essence, you accumulate the essence, and you craft the card. Hey, you could rip it at 50. You could get a crappy card, or you could get a Jokic. That's the game, baby. And we love it. Ripping essence with the boys and girls. All right. And that's what we do. It is the game now. I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody here loves essence in boxes, right? Think it's great.
I'm stuck on 17 rare essence. I'm so pissed.
I'm a box boy.
Yeah, we are box boys. So it is. May not seem like much. Maybe it doesn't get you excited. Go play for cash then. But if not, we got boxes. We're stoked. If you don't want the boxes, we'll take all the boxes. Don't you worry about that. Jay Blaze, who's the sneaky cap Magic player we should go get tomorrow? If Wendell Carter is still hurt at the beginning of the season, Goga Badaze. That's my dog. And Anthony Black. I think we're going to get a lot of Anthony Black this season. I am hype on the Anthony Black. Maybe overhype. I don't know. I've been buying a bunch of Panini Obsidian Anthony Black rookie cards. Yeah, Anthony Black. I would say Anthony Black and Goga Badaze. Oh, basketball is back. I'm so excited.
Does he want more sneaky cap players? Do we go to the watch list?
Oh, all right. Do we have anything else about this? Did we talk about the daily game at all? Should we talk about that? Do we need it? Do we need to talk about that?
I'd say let's see what the daily looks like first before we judge it.
Yeah. So essentially, for those that don't know, well, guess what? Now you know. Daily Hoops is going to be a daily game. You can't use the cards that you're already lined up, okay? So you're going to need even more cards. Every day when the game opens, you're going to find out what the competition is. If y'all played before, you remember the under 23s, the veterans, the offense only, defense, stuff like that. That is not going to be a daily format, but you don't find out until the morning. The players are rolling locks, so they don't lock until their game starts, which is fun. And you get to win boxes. We're Essence boys now. We're box boys. So this is going to add another dynamic. Again, we don't really know too much. We'll see it. I'm sure. So each lineup will adhere to 120 caps. So MVP. So it's basically a champion lineup. And yeah, the theme is going to change every day. So that's something a little fun. While you guys aren't in,
sorry, I didn't. Is that common or?
I think you might be able to use commons, but I think it's limited.
Oh, right there. It'll run in all 5 scarcities. Okay, cool.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I gotta hop up real quick.
Oh, you're good.
All right.
But yeah,
You want me to begin?
are you? Oh yeah, are you? Well, first of all, are you going to play the daily games like Rivals? Because I know you're kind of a Rivals boy. You're going to daily hoops it.
Big Rivals boy. No one in our squad is playing this week. I'm the only guy. I have like 14 power and I'm top. It's weird.
Not bro. I got 3.
Yeah.
I won.
There you go. But yeah, I will be playing.
Well, I was going to say the question about hoops. Is there a world, because I know you're staying away from in season right now, so is there a world where you prioritize daily hoops over the other competitions to grind essence?
If I have guys who are hurt, maybe, because my gallery will be extremely small. If I have a smasher who's hurt, I will probably go to daily until that guy comes back, unless it's a long term. So if a guy's out for a game week, I'll go to the daily instead. I'll play that.
Because that's my biggest thing.
But I'll also try to win a lot of good common cards to play with.
Yeah. No, it'll be because like if you play your cards in lineups and you can't use them in daily hoops and like 3 lineups, 3 multi-entry is a whole new thing. What's up? Welcome back. Multi-entry is a thing. So you have more lineups, you're going to need more cards, even more cards, then you can't play them daily hoops. So like someone with a small gallery, would you recommend that they just come in and play daily hoops first?
It depends on how small their gallery is.
I would
if they have to go out and
all you.
I was gonna say, like, if your gallery's like 4 cards, you need to still go buy another half of a lineup. Just play daily hoops. But if you're like 10 or so cards and you have to fill out a lineup and maybe just need 1 or 2 more guys to have a rotation to go through, then do that. But it'd probably be more fun to play daily. So if you're looking to not just try to grind awards, daily is probably a lot more fun to do.
That'll be kind of an interesting strategy to start off of. Real quick, I just want to say what's up, Boston Sean. I assume you're another Celtics guy. Yeah,
Huge.
more of you to just be obnoxious all season. Gross. Miguel, we
Didn't even
haven't
say
really
anything.
gone on that, but we will get there. That's at the end of the show, which will be soon. Thomas, you were coming in hot.
Oof.
What do you have to say?
I would ask them what type of budget they have, and if they have a small gallery, I'd say just go straight for champion.
Yeah, champion seems the place to be. Even if they don't have a Luka or Jokic.
Buy Luka Jokic. I mean, I don't know if they have the or go for
SGA, Brunson.
Honestly,
Yeah.
do you want to know who the number one guy is? I would, if you're on a budget for champ, I'd go LeBron. He's $20 old season.
really
56
LeBron?
cap right now.
I've had LeBron since season 1, and like you never feel comfortable playing him because he's always questionable, but he always plays and just fucking smashes because the rest of his team sucks, and he's the one that has to do it.
yeah.
You may as well. He's so cheap. You may as well have. You don't have that luxury. You just may as well you're gonna get some game through because of him, but you may as well play.
No, yeah. There are definitely look, we all want Wemby, we all want Luka, we all want Jokic, but it's just they're so expensive for many reasons, but it's just hard. And there's a lot of tier 1.5 kind of almost star MVP caliber players out there that are way cheaper. That can somewhat bang, not as often, and it's not necessarily a lock, but there are some good players out there that won't break the budget.
What about Embiid?
Oh, I'm gonna get to him when we talk about some stuff later. Because there's a guy who you guys need to be picking up. But I don't know. Did you guys see what he said today?
Oh yeah.
He said he doesn't think he's going to be able to play back-to-backs ever again in his career.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I think it came out that he was going to have a planned time off, which we already knew, dude. Embiid's been this forever. Plays half the regular season, and it's just limping around, going, "I'm hurt in the playoffs." But it's okay. They have Tyrese Maxey, so they don't need him.
Yeah, they want
Embiid is cheap for a reason.
Yeah, here it is.
We'll put it that way.
And that's really true.
He's just pulling a Suarez. That's all he's doing.
Might be a little bit more than Suarez. But yeah, so Alex, since I know you were doing some scouting, you're kind of thinking about buying in right now. What are you looking at? Do you have a watch list?
I do. I have some.
Did you already buy some things?
I bought one guy and I put it towards the end. But this is where you guys get your buying fingers ready if you guys are going into contender, because these are I mixed research of low cap guys who I think are undervalued for what their caps are. So first off, Joel Embiid. I'm just kidding, not Joel Embiid. But I was looking at him to see what his price was at. No, first off, I have Norman Powell. The Clippers are always injured. They have such an injury-prone roster. You can see him dip in and out of form throughout. But and no Paul George too. That'll really help him this year. 18 L10. And you can see when he starts, he barely starts, but when he plays, he's always hitting above that cap. It basically looks like he's hitting above that cap every time.
Hey, those peaks, boy.
So especially the thing is for contender, you don't really need that. You just need them to beat cap by a good amount. You don't need the peaks. For a champion, of course, you need the peaks, but this is more contender focused. But yeah, you just need someone who's going to beat their cap. He does that a lot, and with no PG for the beginning of the season, you're probably going to get some good scores to start out with. Next up,
questionable for the start.
Yeah, he is. So even better for him, and $3, so he's cheap. A lot of these guys are pretty cheap. Another guy though, we got my first Celtic. I think I have 2 Celtics on this list.
We're basketball boys now, Daniel.
We got Sam Hauser. Didn't really play much in the playoffs, so his L10 went down.
Yeah, I bought him for the playoffs.
Bought
him for the finals, actually.
You can see, we'll go to 2023, his start of the year. It was really good. He was hitting 20+ in a lot of these games. He's at 8, so he's one of those low guys you sneak in. That's what I tried to do last year. I tried to find a guy who's under 10 who would hit above 20. And Sam Hauser will hopefully be that guy to start the season.
Wait.
3-point bang out. You know who he is.
Sam Hauser or Peyton Pritchard?
Both.
Peyton Pritchard scores way better than Sam Hauser on his day, though.
Guess what? Both.
We
got Peyton Pritchard too.
Oh, yeah, I'm up here. Let's go.
Exactly. So Pritchard's another one. he's not going to give it as frequently as Hauser is because he's only going to play significant minutes in blowouts. He's not really a guy that comes in as often.
He does, boy.
Then again, this season we're gonna have to manage a lot more. I mean, as you can see, start of the year, he gets some minutes, but it'll be interesting. I'd rather have Hauser just because his cap is lower and he's more consistent. But Pritchard is one of those guys who can give you 40 plus, even I think hit 60 plus. Yeah,
Pritchard's one of those Thomas guys.
This is one of those. You know how it's the last game of the season for everybody, and they throw in like their G League guys, and all of them go nuts. Like Kenny Lofton went for like 40 and 20.
We're not talking bad about Kenny Loft, bro.
Plus 40. But yeah, again, $6 should be really good. Another one that I think is pretty nice value, Rudy Gobert. No more Cat, so he's gonna be their 5 from now on, and they're big for the whole season. And you can see his scores were 40 plus a lot of the time. He's at 28.
Ooh, that's actually not bad, actually.
And so you can pair him.
Who do they play that first game?
They got the Lakers, the Kings, and the Raptors in that first game week. So
Rudy versus AD
should be. I mean, as long as AD isn't already hurt. I'm sure he's already questionable going into the game. But yeah, he's really good and cheap too. And he can put us at 50 pluses too. And that's you need for contender. You needed 2 40 pluses and a 50 plus to win tier 3 and above. So he can be one of those guys for you, and I'm definitely considering picking him up. Next up, we know who it is. Trey Mann. He is when LaMelo gets hurt, and it will happen. Man.
It's going to be the LaMelo year. The streets are talking.
We said that last year, and it wasn't. So this is sort of a pick up and hold sort of thing. He hit. I owned him last year. I only owned him for this run, and then I got out of NBA. But I want to reward with him because of this 50 piece. He is a very solid backup guard, one of the best backup guards in the league, and so he will get minutes depending on whether you're basically banking on LaMelo getting hurt, which is more likely than not for $3.
Okay.
You can probably wait. You can wait. Go ahead.
And I know he's like expensive, right? But I didn't want to talk in like this, like, and we're gonna get to this because this is all falling into Thomas's lap right here to just close this off. But the Trey Mann thing, yes, when LaMelo is out, but when LaMelo is in, these scores are hella freaking nice. Now, are you gonna get them? Are you guaranteed? I don't know. He's probably gonna break his ankle again. But LaMelo, dude, I'm starting to buy into the hype, man. I don't know what it is. And you're talking about Trey, and I'm like, no, we got to talk about LaMelo for a second. He's still a little pricey for what you're going to get, possibly. But if you do get it, it's one of those like risk reward things. Like you take the shot or not, all right? You're taking the buzzer beater or not. It may not go in, but if it does, you're sitting pretty. I just wanted to bring it up. And
what are your thoughts on these scores right here? You like those?
I only like it because it keeps his cap low.
Well, you know what?
I like those peaks.
And he's going to be back this year. Minted in season, 0 cap.
I thought he was like on the verge of retiring.
He's going to play this year. They announced that he's going to play this year. So, Mr. Lonzo, watch out for him being a really nice, cheap option for the old Bulls.
I heard Zach LaVine's looking pretty good in preseason.
Lonzo's Lonzo. Lonzo is elite when he's healthy. So he'll be healthy for 3 weeks. So you get 3 game weeks of him.
Daniel Cooper went to the Warriors Kings game the other night, and his soccer galley is now up for sale. Let's go!
Huge.
We're basketball boys now.
Speaking of Warriors.
Oh, snap. Yes, sir.
Pods. He was elite last year if you owned him. Had some really nice scores in the middle of the season. His cap is all right, 23. I think that you're hoping he gets into this midseason form like he did. Yeah. He was a starter at that point. But he's really good. Him and Miller, I think, are really, really good. Miller just had a higher cap, but Podziemski had some good matchups to start too.
There it is. The pod got himself. That's right. Exactly. He's a little too pricey for me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's on my short list of players I want to get this season for sure.
Dude, but he's U23.
Yeah,
Got to get him for those daily games.
there you go.
Exactly. But here's another one. So now he is hurt, but he should be out. He should be back in. I saw he got hurt. He should be back in before the season starts, if not pretty quick. He was really good last year when he played. We'll go to 2022 whenever he had his full healthy season. Towards the end, you can see him get to that. And then 2023, he started off really well. Got hurt, should be back. He's only $6 in an 18L10. You're probably gonna have to wait maybe a few game weeks to start him, but for $6, it's good to sit on. And there's some valuable guys you can get from the Trailblazers. Surprisingly,
Portland's gonna be kind of fun this season. They got a bunch of young guys. They all got something to prove.
I don't know. Is Brogdon re-signed? I believe, right?
No,
he didn't. Okay,
no, Brogdon is hurt somewhere else. Where's he?
Yeah, but Suns.
Forget where he went. He's somewhere. Maybe he's somewhere.
I don't know. Somewhere, but like Scoot, Anthony, who else they have? Denny they brought in.
I'm stoked on that. DeAndre Ayton, I guess.
Even my boy Robert Williams.
Yeah, there it is. How far Brogdon has fallen. He is hurt on the Wizards. Oh, Lord.
So, but yeah. Next up, though, we talked about this already, me and you. It'll be interesting to see who starts because obviously they have Westbrook now. But I don't know if Westbrook is a startable guy on the team. I think he's one of those.
Westbrook's like lead the second unit kind of guy these days.
Exactly. Yeah. Come in, clean up. That's what they did with him on the Clippers, and it was super beneficial. Everybody was in uproar whenever they announced he was going to get benched, but it really worked out. But yeah, Brown can give you good peaks when he starts. Does he start that often? Not really.
I've been holding him for 2 years waiting.
But for $8 and 11 L10, it's really, really nice. Really good cap play.
He should be the next KCP, but whether he does or not, we'll see.
All right. Now, I got 2 left, and one of them is the guy that I bought already.
Oh, what'd you buy?
So I'll show him now. It's this guy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. For obvious reasons. He is a center, and he is on the Sixers, and you know who is also on the Sixers? Look at this dude's peaks. I owned him last year. He is the rebound god. Like, I'm pretty sure in that 68-point game, he had like 20 boards.
That's when like Vooch was out and he stepped in, and dude, he just balled out.
Exactly. So if we're gonna see this dude Embiid, like, look at this, 41.7 on a 25 when he starts. If we're gonna see Embiid out and he never play back-to-backs, everybody should own Drummond.
Good night.
He averaged 18 boards a game when starting last year. And people loved Paul Reed last year just because he got minutes.
Paul Reed was a play.
And now we're bringing in Andre Drummond instead of Paul Reed, a significant upgrade. It really should be on everybody's radars. And you know who's last.
Yeah. Well, before you go off that, like staying on this, and like you kind of brought up the Embiid thing. Look, Embiid is cheap because yes, you're going to get shenanigans. He's not going to play every game. He's going to be hurt all the time. Blah blah blah. But when he does play, he scores really well. The only thing I will say is like I'm not anti-Embiid, especially in Sorare. Like if you're playing like season-long fantasy or whatever in like these traditional places, you just don't you avoid Embiid. But in this kind of game where you can if you can afford to just watch that expensive-ish MVP card just kind of sit around and collect dust and just go down in value, then you got to buy them both. Like the handcuffs in soccer, if you're going to buy the goalkeeper, buy the backup too. If you're going to buy Embiid, you have to buy Drummond behind him. Like if you own Embiid and you don't have Drummond, I am shaming you. Just shame Bell. Just nothing but shame Bell.
No, it's more of if you don't have Drummond, if you have Drummond and you don't have Embiid, what are you doing? The real starter.
Shh, I won Drummond last year, but I don't want to buy Embiid. Shh.
All right, you know who the last one is? You want to guess?
Trae Young.
I made a joke about him when he got traded on the show. Maybe even off the show, but it was when we were together.
When he got traded,
yes.
Julius Randle.
Oh, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul? He's also on my short list. Dante DiVincenzo?
No.
Well, you should own one after you see those words he had the other night.
Yeah, he was fired up.
Revenge season.
For sure.
He's fired up, boy.
No, it's the Kiddler himself, Mr. Giddy.
Oh no, not the diddler.
Yes, Exactly.
Josh Giddey.
Hide this, close public school Chicago, all of them. It's not good. But yeah, his L10's really good.
John
And he can
Morant's hard to
produce.
get right now, Daniel. You can't afford a
As
John
much as he-
Morant.
As much as he loves underage kids, his L10's good, so it balances out.
Sorry, I'm completely out of the loop here. What? Did
Uh,
I just
there
like
was-
Google
Not
this
know.
really quickly? Like Josh Giddey,
Yeah,
like, bad.
yeah,
Chris Hansen.
yeah.
I guess it was
Uh,
allegedly. I don't know if it was clear, but he was talking to some underage people. I don't know.
Yeah, so this
Well,
this girl that he was dating lied about her age to him.
Pull
and
a
they found out
guilty
she-
Sigurdsson.
They found out she
I
was
will
in high
say,
school. So
With the Giddey trade, though, I avoided Giddey, but I did pick up Alex Caruso going to OKC, though. He's going to be a dog for them defensively, and OKC's just going to be awesome. So
you mean the team Unk, the oldest player in the team?
yes,
That is so
absolutely.
wild. That's
I
a
have
stat.
this
But
Alex Crusoe player. I'm just liking that I'm hearing a lot of players that I've randomly won, and I just never traded anything in my gallery last year. Like I got Caruso.
That's
I
kind
got
of NBA
Pritchard.
though.
Yeah,
Like I feel like more than soccer and maybe MLB. I don't really pay that much attention, but like NBA is definitely a game of like collect all the guys, and like most of the time they do on the court, you just got to give it to the hot hand, and whoever's hot, whoever's on a streak, man, you got to get them. You buy when the L10 is high, and then you sell it when it's low. LOL. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
Crazy, dude. That's a good list for all of you crazy, incredible people who were here. An hour and 11 minutes in, Alex just dropped you off some heats. Thomas,
You
before
want
we
the
get
list?
out of here,
$5 on So Rare. I'll send you the list.
send me $5 on Ethan Silver, and I'll send you the link,
Exactly.
bro. Thomas, are any of those players? See, Tom, one of the biggest reasons we had this show is because me and Thomas have been talking about NBA getting hyped together, and he was like, "I got the data," and I was like, "Thomas, what kind of data? All the data that I don't understand." And Thomas, now that we went through Alex's picks, we went through all the NBA season 3 So Rare shenanigans. What's the data tell us? What moves are we making? And explain to the people what the heck is going on. Maybe I'll understand it the third time around.
well, the Taco Slayer, the data preaches. No, but so here's the deal. And I said this at the beginning of the show, right? I checked out of NBA So Rare entirely. I didn't care. I just hit the button before the button existed, and that was it, right? And so there's two things that came of this. And this one thing where I was trying to find if there's an opportunity to make a little money on the outside of the competition. So you'll notice, like, I mean, when you have a game like the NBA, the players that are behind the Drummonds, the players that are on the bench,
Naz Reeds,
right? He's in my gallery as well.
Cole
They excuse me, they suddenly spike in their price.
And it makes you thirsty.
Sorry.
Any day now. Oh, we'll get there.
Getting over a little bit of illness, but the idea is that, okay, can we actually predict when a player is going to have a price spike? That was my question to myself, was like, if I pulled in data for price data for every limited sell since December of 23 for every player in NBA, could I actually, using the weekly or daily, or I forget how I aggregated it, stats of the players, create a model that predicted the actual likelihood of a price spike happening for a player? So I did that, and I ran the model, and the model ended up using what's called a random forest, and it was highly predictive, which tells me it's shit, because it means what we call overfitting the data, where it's too good to be true, and it's just going in these really crazy nuances of trying to say this is how you predict it, when in reality, if I took this model and I applied it to this season's data, it'd probably give me shit. I'm still going to test it, but my hypothesis is it's going to give me shit. But what it did give me is that I got this data set of players who my classification of having a price spike was that their price from one day to the next went up with 2 standard deviations. And I was curious if I looked at those players, who they were. And I'll present my screen.
We have the technology.
I have a slideshow. No, I was kidding. I don't have a slideshow.
I have a whole presentation.
What we
Should have
got?
told me. I would have brought my popcorn.
But I do have the data right here, and let's see here what you see. You see that's
There he is.
I see Sorare.
Hold on.
Oh,
it didn't give me the right
Arena?
one.
Help!
You'll see.
That's the Sitz Arena. Did you leak the
You'll
Sitz
see in
Arena?
a
This is
second.
Sitz
Here we go.
Arena.
All right, here we go.
Wow.
So I got it
I'll
in
see you by mid
the
journey.
in the tableau. Oh, did it not want to share? There it goes.
I
Okay.
got you.
All right. So we got basically the number of times that we saw price spikes and standard deviations. I think technically I still need to like go in and divvy this out by in season versus classic, but it had me saying, hey, if I pick up Jokic, if I pick up Wemby, if I pick up the big guys, there's probably going to be an opportunity at some point during the season if I wanted to sell for more than I paid. That's what that told me right there. I think there are some cases where you have to factor in specials that, there's probably a special that Jokic was the prime player to have, and so people are paying extra for him that particular game week. But what was interesting was I was looking at other players like Scotty Barnes and Scoot Henderson and Banchero and just other players that I didn't know the names, like I didn't recognize the names. And I said, well, maybe these are the players that I should be looking at because obviously people liked them for some reason last year. And then what I do like about NBA Sorare is that it matches really well with most other NBA fantasy games. So I just read a couple of blogs and I said, hey, like, what is it like whenever we have, what are the experts, more expert than me, more reliable experts saying about these players that I have this hypothesis on. And so I ended up creating a list. I shipped it. I was sending a little bit of it over to Jorge, and he said that list sounds good. So I said, well, I feel really good about myself.
Look at me. I did the data.
And so I'll just bring it up, and I won't drain it too much, but a lot of it is players that because I'm okay with sharing this entire list because I mean honestly my entire strategy could be absolute garbage, right? It's either going to make me a millionaire or it's going to financially destroy me because I'm obviously going to put $1 bazillion into this. But there's a lot of players that I feel like are ones that I don't have that for whatever reason seem to always be popping up on people's radars for buy. Actually, Alex, you made me every time I come on this show, I buy a player. And I was like, I already had Drummond on the list. I already had Drummond on the list. I had $7.30 on my cash wallet, which is my wallet that I care less about. And lo and behold, there's a $7.29 Drummond. And I said, screw it, get him. So thank you, Alex. This happens every time. Last it was Messi. The time before that is Paulinho. So hopefully Drummond works out as well as they did.
That's the big three.
God, this show is so full of DJs, and I'm so here for it. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm happy if someone pings me, I'm happy to share this list with you. Like, the deal is like, I can't really go into depth of why I pick these players other than this entire hypothesis of I see other people buying these players en masse. Other blogs say they're great. I'm just going to follow the data because I'm not as much of an expert when it comes to the NBA. Like, I understand it. I watch it. I enjoy it. But I don't know the players as deeply as I do like NFL or soccer.
That's what you have us for. Dude, honestly, you sent me this list and I was like, you could buy all these players right now, except for like maybe Trace Jackson Davis. And I'd be like, you could play with these. I mean, granted, most of the caps are going to be too high to make a real lineup. But dude, all of those. Yeah,
I was trying to figure out, and that's the thing. Like you'll see, right? Like this is what I'm talking about right here. Like, what point was this when Steph Curry was hurt?
No, that is when Draymond got hurt.
Oh,
yeah. I won him as a reward, and then Draymond got hurt, and so I sold him.
But like, it happened again.
Oh, yeah.
It happened again. It happened again. Like, so it's not. It's one of those cases where maybe you're paying. Let's see here, $6.71. $10, $4 in your pocket.
Yeah,
that doesn't get you a Big Mac anymore, but it gets you half a Drummond.
Chicken Big Mac.
Dude, half a Drummond's going to be very valuable this season. No, I agree. I think like your model's basically depicting like rotations. Like it's either projecting rotations or it's like just project, like you're basically picking up on injuries when a guy steps into a bigger role, like the fifth, sixth person off the sixth, seventh person off the bench, like the sixth, seventh man coming off the bench into a starting role because of an injury or suspension or whatever. And then they go right to the thing about NBA is like having, and that's another thing that people don't talk about is like winning tier 4s or 3s in NBA. Like, yeah, they may be on the bench. Maybe they might only get 5, 8, 10 minutes a night. But if something goes right, if all the stars align on that perfect day and they step into a big role and all of a sudden they're going from 8 minutes to 25, 30 minutes, that doesn't guarantee they're going to score well. If they suck, they still suck. Like they suck, they're still going to be bad regardless of how many minutes you give them. But there are a lot of guys that do get bumped up in minutes and then really produce for you.
Well, and I think if you're seeing consistent bumps in price, that means this person is playing well.
The go-to guy, yeah.
Like they are obviously making the most of the minutes, and that's exactly what you want to see, because a lot of these players are younger, and you want to see the players that are doing well and they're younger. And yeah, people are moving, and there's been a lot of movement this offseason, tons of trades. So like, let's go after them, right? So that's my strategy. I'm still waiting to buy a card on the football side, and then once I do, I'm gonna start making a couple of moves. Powell, he wasn't very nice. I was trying to see if he would. Jorge sends me this trade. He's like, I can't believe he did it. I'm like, well, maybe he doesn't.
I was like, I just please Powell, let's go.
And I was like, oh, and I sent him like Serge Ibaka, and then of course he was like, no.
Oh, Serge Ibaka, legend of the game. But yo, dude, we're at an hour and 20 minutes for that first basketball show back, baby. Let's go. We are back. I can't wait to keep doing this. I love the NBA season. Obviously, the Magic are good again, so of course I like basketball. Yeah, MLS is winding down. Unfortunate, sad. We got some playoff stuff this weekend. But yeah, dude, basketball is back. Anybody who's here, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Anything you want to see, guys. We don't really have a plan for NBA. We're just going to get up here and talk about players, degen, do a bunch of things and hang out. So if you guys have ideas, any content you want to watch, any basketball fans that are out there that want to come on the show, man, dude, I don't care who you are. As long as you're nice, you like to have fun, we come up here, we can talk some hoops. The door is always open. Just hit me up, slide into the DMs, all that fun stuff. And yeah, dude, cards go on sale tomorrow. I am stoked. I can't wait to degen to in season and then cry about it for the next couple months. Thomas, Alex, anything else you got to get off your chest before we get out of here? This is the greatest ending.
I would say in terms of what's more likely, me buying in-season cards or Atlanta beating Orlando at Orlando this weekend. What's more likely? Probably the latter.
No chance, Chief. Orlando City is going to win MLS Cup, baby. Let's go. Basketball's back.